and welcome to the first installment in the corrections and update series where every 10 videos I make, I will rewatch all of them, read all of the comments, do a little extra research, and correct and update each one. These challenge videos that I've been making for a while now, they contain a lot of facts, and I slip up every so often, so I thought it'd be cool to revisit them and fix my mistakes. These videos are really only going to be for fans of the channel because this is a pretty diverse group of topics that not everyone will care about, so just skip to whatever chapter interests you, or maybe you'll find the whole thing interesting, I don't know. I'm not going to be going over technical fixes like editing screw-ups or anything like that, just informational corrections, forgotten details, and anything new that occurred after the upload of each of the videos. Some of the topics covered contain really old media that is just not going to have any updates, but some of these topics have quite a few updates. With that being said, let's start off with video number 1. So first off with Evil Bong, my first video on this channel. Now besides being the first video and it being pretty rough, I honestly wish I could redo it. There's really no corrections. I don't really think I slipped up on anything. When it comes to updates, there are a few. The 8 movies have been released in a big box set, which kind of insinuates there's not going to be another one. The movie that I hint towards at the end of the video that was talked about online, Evil Bong vs. The Kill a Crack Pipe, has no new info online. I'm not even sure if it's 100% real. I tried to reach out to Full Moon but got zero response, so I don't know. There was a 2021 spin-off movie for the Ginger Weed Man. He got his own thing, similar to the Ginger Dead Man, but it's not an Evil Bong movie. And I guess the only other update is I got that rare resin statue. Check it out. Unlike Evil Bong, for Buckethead, there's a lot of new stuff to cover and a lot of corrections I gotta clear up. Now, a giant screw up in that video is the face of Buckethead I show in those videos. That is not him. That is a French guitarist named Stéphane Allo, not Buckethead. There are about 4 to 5 confirmed pictures of Brian Carroll, Buckethead, but the ones I showed are not him. Now, another big mess up is DJ Flair, that artist who Buckethead had an album with. His name is Mike Patton. Well, that's the front man for Faith No More. I can't believe I missed that. I really like those guys, I just didn't know much about them at the time. Now, another thing I gotta fix is the pronunciations in that video. Several I screwed up, and here they go. It's Aragorn, not Aragon. It's Serge Tankian, not Serge Tonkin. And it's Bernie Worrell, not Bernie Warhol. I also claim in the video that Melissa Reese is a past member of GNR. She's actually a current member. I also state in the video that Eddie Van Halen invented tapping. This is not true. He just popularized it. It's kind of up for debate who actually invented it, but it's not Eddie. Another slight mess up is on Buckethead's 2010 album Spinal Clock. I state that it's a banjo-only album. He's actually playing a banjo guitar, which is a 6-string banjo tuned to a guitar, not the same thing technically. For something I forgot to mention, the artist that he goes under, Death Cube K, that's just an anagram of Buckethead. You just shift around the letters. Also, with Death Cube K's 2007 album Monolith, which is 5 CDs long, I didn't know this at the time, but you're supposed to play those 5 albums in unison with each other. Here's what it sounds like. Now for updates. You're wondering, has Buckethead released even more albums? The answer is yes. 22 new albums, bringing the running total to 437 albums. Those can be broken down to 21 pikes and 1 soundtrack collab album. Of those 21 pikes, there were 9 released in 2020 and 12 released in 2021, with all pretty normal pike covers, except for 278, which I don't know what that is, and 277, which the cover's actually flipped. Now, there are some strange things going on with the pike series right now. Buckethead's done this before, but he's skipping numbers. I assume he's gonna come back to them, but there are a couple of strange cases here. You got 285, the Stone Folly, 286, Nautical Twilight, and then pike 289, 290, and 295. Now for those 2 titled pikes, the 285 and 286, they are available for pre-order and they each have 4 preview songs. 285's preview songs are a little experimental, little weird Buckethead, nothing crazy new, and 286 is that more ballad Buckethead, the sadder stuff. Again, stuff we're used to. For Pikes 289 and 290, they also have covers, pretty similar ones actually, and they each have 4 preview songs as well. They sound more standard rock, a little heavy, kind of metal, but again, really nothing that new. And then for Pike 295, there's no link, no cover, no name, it's just an empty slot. There seems to be artwork made for the cover. The artwork was sold on Buckethead's website, but its status right now is non-existent. Each one of those weird cases besides 295 have slated ship dates, which of course never happened. I think it's very likely they will drop. He'll probably return back to them because they have purchase options available, so he has to. Now for the 21 Pikes I did listen to that officially released, the first one after upload is actually on Spotify with a little different cover. It kind of even looks like an album. It's very chill guitar playing music, nothing new for Buckethead. It was pretty good. All the other ones are on YouTube, and all of the Pikes, all 21, have really similar lengths to all the previous Pikes where they hover around 30 minutes. Honestly, listening to these was really fun. I enjoyed coming back to Buckethead after all this time. I haven't really listened to him since. I found that these 21 albums really fit within that pattern I set in a video where there's a chill one, a crazy one, and then a regular one, kind of in that cycle. And despite how repetitive these Pikes can be, they're really good instrumental guitar albums, great for background music. Even though they're made super fast, the production is really clean. Several of these Pikes contained live songs, which I don't really remember those being on the early Pikes. It's mostly of his hits. Overall, it really wasn't a chore getting through these. It was fun to revisit. It really got me back into Buckethead. Now that 22nd album, that soundtrack collab album I mentioned, is another collab with Viggo Mortensen alongside a rock band named Skating Polly, released in 2020. This was also on Spotify, and it mostly consists of very slow, sad piano music. Viggo does a lot of that with these Buckethead albums. They're either very crazy arty or just really slow and ambient. I've just kind of decided I'm not a big Viggo fan. It's just not my type of music. Very talented though, I gotta give him that. Even though he acts, he also has a music side hustle. So when you add up all those 22 albums, it comes out to about 10 hours, so that can be added to the challenge. Now for some more updates. Recent Forgeries, that Buckethead Viggo album that I bought the book for, but it never had the CD in it. I have now listened to it. It is on YouTube. It's this strange spoken word, slow art piece thing. Again, not my thing, but it's okay. Now with another Viggo album that I wasn't able to listen to, one less thing to worry about, Viggo's first album, I show in the video that there's an eBay auction, and I ended up winning it. This is one of 1,000 copies of this Viggo album. It's pretty damn rare. That's a low pressing for a CD, but it ended up not really mattering because that too has been uploaded to YouTube. Again, it's one of those strange Viggo albums, one of the crazier ones that's filled with a bunch of sound effects, really kind of avant-garde spoken word thing again. Not really my thing, but it is an entertaining listen. Another album that was inaccessible to me at the time of the upload was the collab with DJ Disc titled Unreleased. I ended up not counting any of the DJ Disc albums because Bucket had really more features on them, but I had someone send me that album digitally and I listened to it. It's fine. I like the Buckethead albums with the more DJ scratching in it, the more electronic emphasis, and no, I did not count that for the challenge. And again, that was also uploaded to YouTube after the upload. Even that record I bought for the video, that is now on YouTube as well, but I'm glad it's there for people to listen to. I gotta shout out the channel Buckethead Archive, who's been uploading a lot of these albums and a lot of the related Buckethead albums too. Major respect for that. And if you want to stay up to date with Buckethead's release, I still maintain the spreadsheets, so just look to that if you want to keep up to date. So after I finished that whole section, I just realized that yesterday, January 2nd, 2022, another Buckethead album dropped, Pike 302, Cyborgs, Robots, and More. So that now brings the total to 438 albums. God, it's hard to keep up. So for the 40 Campaigns Call of Duty video, there's a lot to fix. I screwed up a lot of stuff, but I'll try my best to cover everything that I messed up. First off, I make a joke about Price being in the old games versus the new games, how the timeline's all screwed up. I knew it wasn't the same person. A lot of these screw-ups I'm gonna cover are just failed jokes, but if you wanna know, the Price in the old games is technically the grandfather of the modern day John Price. Another thing I messed up was I claimed a gun was a blunderbuss. I knew it wasn't. I just didn't look up the name. It's actually a Ranger sawed-off shotgun. Another slight mess up that honestly needs to be brought to light again is the Family Guy Back to the Multiverse map that takes place in an airport. I said mall. The airport is the same airport as the one in the No Russian mission. I thought this was based off a real airport in Moscow, but no, it's a fictional Zakhaev International Airport. So I don't know why Family Guy modeled it off of that game. I think that's a crazy fact that people need to look into more. I only found one forum slightly mentioning it. Family Guy and Modern Warfare 2 have connections. Peter played the game on the show, so I think it's a nod, but I don't know. Another thing that needs clarification is Polanski got promoted and Dyke got demoted. Shanked both of those. Another thing I slightly slipped up on is zombie maps and multiplayer maps are usually just recycled locations taken from the campaign. I state that in the beginning of the video, but later on I slip up and say that they're put into the campaign. It's the other way around. Another thing, in the DS version of Black Ops, I'm confused in the video when the enemies are saying, "Vamos, vamos, vamos!" And I say, why are the Russians saying that? Well, they're not Russian, they're Cuban. Another thing I need to clarify is I played United Offensive on the PC, and I did not know about the quick saves. I know I put that as #1 hardest game, and those quick saves probably would have changed that, but people kept telling me I didn't know about quick saves in the first Call of Duty. I played Call of Duty Classic, the Xbox Live Arcade version, which I can guarantee you did not have quick saves. That version honestly is just a lot harder than the PC version. Something else worth mentioning is in the big red one part of the video, I discuss how there's weird reload animations, and I show this clip of a bar. I kind of knew this when I put it in there. Again, failed joke. The bar has this release button when you're reloading it that's a little strange looking. That is a real thing. It's not some weird reload animation. Another correction with the big red one section of the video, people think that I thought the Wilhelm scream was voiced by Mark Hamill. That was actually just poor editing. I wanted to show that Mark Hamill voices a character in that game, and then I wanted to show that the Wilhelm scream is in the game, not connected, just a bad edit. In the video, I call a black bird a black hawk. Sorry, probably was thinking about the movie. In the Call of Duty World War II part of the video, I discuss how some people say that Call of Duty is copying off of Battlefield 1 by going back to the World War II games. That was a slip up. I just meant to say that people thought they were copying Battlefield by going back to the old wars. I know Battlefield 1 is World War I and Call of Duty World War II is obviously World War II. It was just a dumb mess up. In the Modern Warfare 2019 section of the video, I show an oil can being screwed onto the gun, and I said, oh, this is super unrealistic. Apparently, you can use an oil can as a suppressor. Now, here are a few cool facts that people hit me with that I didn't include in the video, but they're worth mentioning. Something cool that I didn't mention for United Offensive, the DLC campaign for the first game, I say it's developed by Grey Matter Interactive. Well, that's actually just an early developer that turned into Treyarch, which that's pretty cool. A theory that a fan pointed out to me that I thought was interesting was in COD Online, I discuss how there's purple screens instead of red screens. This is most likely because of Chinese censorship. There's a lot of aspects in COD Online that are changed from normal COD because of their very harsh censorship rules. A cool thing someone told me about that I didn't even think about researching was how the enemies yell potato masher all the time. It's actually a name for a grenade. The reason behind the name is because it literally looks like a potato masher. Another thing worth mentioning, which I wish I knew when I made the video, was when you play PSP games on the Vita, you can actually remap controls, so I didn't have to do that really weird control scheme for Roads to Victory. Another thing worth mentioning is the DS version of the games, those 5 DS games. Their stories feel very unconnected, but I think they are canon. The stories kind of fill in the blanks between the main series titles. I mean, the Modern Warfare 3 one is a prequel to the game, which that's really dope. Something I want to clear up is I talk about Call of Duty Warzone in the video like it's this separate spin-off game. I didn't know much about it back then. It was still very new, and I was just focusing on making that video, so I never really played it. It now obviously is a massive battle royale that has grown into something way bigger. It's spun off of Modern Warfare 2019, but has continued to be incorporated with all the games. And lastly, a cool thing I did not mention is the bitch NPC, Sergeant Waters, was voiced by Jason Statham, which I thought was insane. When it comes to updates, the only real updates are the games that were released after the video, which obviously was Call of Duty Cold War, which I made a video about that campaign, and Call of Duty Vanguard, which I'll make one soon. Just know that I will always make a separate video for the mainline COD games. Also, an update is COD Online was shut down, which I made a video on that as well. Now for the Snoop Dogg video, there are a fair share of corrections and updates as well. First off, I show the Australian flag when I want to show the New Zealand flag. Warren G is Dr. Dre's stepbrother, not cousin. Something cool I found out as well is Daz Dillinger is Snoop's cousin, similar to Nate Dogg, and Daz's mom is Dr. Aline Varnado Lang, which Snoop did a song with, making her Snoop's aunt. Something I want to specify is when I was talking about Snoop copycats, I showed Swamp Dogg. He's not a Snoop clone, he was around way before Snoop. Also, something I screwed up was when talking about the international artist that Snoop has worked with. This one right here, I don't want to screw up his name. He's actually Brazilian, not Afghani. Also, during that international artist section, I forgot to mention that he did a song with an artist from Serbia and Finland. There's probably a lot more ethnic artists and more countries that Snoop's worked with, but I just can't individually look up each one, so just let me know when you find one that I haven't discussed. And I have some sad news. Snoop Dogg did not invent D's nuts. That was Warren G on Dr. Dre's song. They sound super close to each other, and also Snoop did not invent Ya Dig. Apparently that was around way before him. He just pretty much popularized it. And similar to Buckethead, I screwed up several pronunciations, so here are the correct ones. Aliyah, not Alaya, and I meant to say Tunisian, not Tanzanian. And there were a couple things that, looking back, I forgot to mention in the video. I mentioned how Snoop is in several groups. I didn't mention that he's in a group called 9 Inch Dicks. During the part of the video where I list all those notable names that Snoop's worked with, I forgot to mention Freddie Gibbs, which I love Freddie Gibbs, he has a song with him, and I forgot to mention Neo, which he's a pretty big name as well. As you saw in the Snoop video, I included a lot of music videos, but I forgot to include this one that a fan sent me that kind of plays into that thing I talked about where Snoop doesn't show up to the shoot for a lot of these videos. They play around with that idea and just come up with this creative way of showing that he's not going to be in the music video. A very small correction where I discuss all the studio albums that Snoop's released. At the time of making that, on Instagram, he announced the album Take It From a G was going to release. Well, I don't know what happened to that. Maybe it got reworked or scrapped, but that never released. Instead, the album From the Streets to the Sweets released, and he released a compilation album recently called Algorithm that is pretty much a studio album. Also, something I want to state for the comments of that video, people keep telling me songs that I've missed. Well, they're on the spreadsheet most of the time. You just have to Command F and check. If I see a song you stated that's not on the spreadsheet, I'll respond to you and say, hey, thanks for finding me a new song, but most of the time it's been on the spreadsheet. I keep that very up to date. I check Apple Music and Napster. I found those are the easiest sources. Spotify again has changed the appears on category. It's absolutely useless now. It's super short. If someone has a better method of finding new Snoop features, I'd appreciate it, but those are the sources I go to. So now for updates. A big one is Snoop saw the video. He found me on Instagram. He liked my post. He commented down below, and he even shared the video on his story to his how many millions of followers, which can't appreciate that enough. That was awesome. It was super dope. I can't believe he found it, and it's definitely jumped in views, but I'm just surprised it was on his radar. So, but that was awesome. I had to let you guys know. In terms of new stuff he's done after the upload, he's always doing a bunch of stuff, but I'll focus on the features. Since upload, of course, more features have dropped, and the current number I've calculated as 1,330 features. I want to change the title of the video, but it won't really work with what I talk about, but it's over 1,300 now. And you might be wondering if I found any more of those fake features, the one where it had that same verse that I heard over and over again. I have found 10 more songs, making it about 80 or 90 fake songs. And it's funny, with a lot of those fakes that I've put in my Spotify playlist, a lot of them are getting removed. I don't know if I brought more attention to them, but a lot of them are grayed out. Of those new, actually real features, he has some new notable names that weren't within the first 1,200, with those being Justin Bieber, Usher, Trace Adkins, DJ Premier, Big Crit, and you'll never guess, Beetlejuice from the Whack Pack. If you don't know Beetle, he's from the Howard Stern Show. I love all his clips. I'm a huge Beetlejuice fan. I can't believe him and Snoop work together. The song is hilarious. The lyrics are so weird, but that is the most notable new name.
Make sure you get them balls, cause Beetlejuice loves when you lick his balls. Ain't that right, Beetlejuice?
Now for the Call of Duty Cold War video, the shorter one where I just cover the campaign, I have a few corrections. I don't know how I missed this, but in the intro, I leave in my Mustang and we return back and my friends escape because of course I couldn't fit that big TV in my car. Anyway, I don't know how I missed that, but it doesn't really change anything. Something that I screwed up that a lot of people got angry about is that Easter egg rocket launcher I call a China Lake. It is actually an M79 Thumper. Again, it's one of those things where I just throw a name on it for a joke and the joke fails and people get angry, but it's whatever. Oh, and something cool that I found out that I didn't mention in the video is one of the narrators, the character of Emerson Black, is voiced by Creed from The Office, which how dope is that? When it comes to updates, there really are none. I mean, the campaign happened, they're not gonna add new stuff to that typically, so no updates. Now for part 1 of the Best Picture series, there's not much to talk about. The big thing I got wrong that, even though I stated in the video pretty quickly, is I screwed up the pronunciation of Laurence Olivier. I kept calling him Lawrence Oliver. I didn't want to dub over the whole thing, my bad. I also kept calling Charlton Heston Charles Heston. Again, stupid screw up. For updates, the movies are super old, so there's no updates whatsoever. Now for the Mtn Dew Iceberg video. I know this didn't fit into my normal format of the I beat, I watched, I listened to videos, but I think the Iceberg format works really well with Mtn Dew, so anyway, there are some corrections and updates. One of the big things that, man, people let me know about in the comments was it is not Code Rogue, the Canadian Code Red, it's Code Rouge, which literally just translates to Code Red. In the video, I say that Frostbite and Frostbite Zero Sugar released in 2021, Frostbite released in 2020, but the Zero Sugar variant did release in 2021 though. Another correction is I didn't know if Code Red and Livewire were currently available in New Zealand. Several people told me that they are not discontinued. They are still readily available. Another mess up was I said that whiteout cans and bottles are regionally exclusive. That is the case for bottles. You can still get them. They are regionally available, pretty sparse, but cans are totally gone. And something worth mentioning, it might not be true, but I think it is. Someone mentioned that the Jumpstart Citrus, the Finland Denmark flavor, is probably just original flavored. I keep forgetting that original Mtn Dew is citrus. Now, there are a lot of updates with Mtn Dew. Holy crap, 2021 has probably been the best year for Mtn Dew ever. So much stuff to cover here. The few flavors I discussed in the beginning of the video, several have released. With Uproar, it did release in 2021 and it ended up being a Food Lion exclusive. It released only in bottles and 2 liters. One of the other flavors, Thrash Apple, that also released in 2021 and it was a Kroger exclusive. I mentioned Gingerbread Snapped, that also released for the 2021 holiday season, but it ended up being recolored to white instead of brown. I assume they test marketed that and people didn't like the color, but I prefer the brown look. In the video, I mentioned Voodoo 3, saying I don't know if it's confirmed, but it did release for the 2021 Halloween season. And like they did with the other Voodoos, they eventually said what the flavor was. This time it was Fruit Candy Chews, which is Starburst. Something new is Mtn Dew Spark, the Speedway exclusive in bottles, is now receiving a can release alongside a Zero Sugar version, both with an unknown date. A recent update is Voltage, Code Red, and Livewire have received redesigns. This time they've received mascots similar to Maui Burst, Frostbite, or Major Melon. Another new release is Code Red Zero Sugar. Now this was supposed to release in November and it's in Mtn Dew commercials, but we're yet to see it release, so unknown date as well. One of the big updates is Mtn Dew Flaming Hot released in 16-ounce cans. Also, it is getting a bottle release, but that is unknown when. Another huge update is Mtn Dew Hard releasing in 2022. It's a Mtn Dew collaboration with Boston Beer Company. It's a series of 3 flavors with 5% alcohol, those being original, watermelon, and black cherry. There's even a rumored Baja Blast as a 4th flavor because people have found renders and copyright information, so that would be awesome. I accidentally skipped part of the script, so here's even more updates. Dr. Disrespect is receiving his own Game Fuel charged tie-in flavor, with that being Championship Citrus Cherry, with an unknown release date. Both Game Fuel charged Zero flavors have been discontinued recently. The Mountain Dew Rise energy drinks have recently entered into a lawsuit, which they lost against a coffee brand of a similar name. Each one of the flavors got retitled to Mountain Dew Energy, except for Berry Blitz, which got discontinued. There are also two rumored future Rise/energy flavors, with those being Cherry Lift and Dragon Fruit Lime. And lastly, images of Voodoo 4 have leaked online. They are not confirmed to be official, but it is also alongside a Zero Sugar variant, and they are expected for the 2022 Halloween season. Another new flavor will be an exclusive to Casey's convenience stores. There is almost nothing known about them right now. They are going under the prototype names of 138 and 164. Someone uncovered this render image, which is epic. It's got so much to unpack. It's a series of bottles lined up, with first being Cake Smash in a bottle, a never before seen Voodoo variant, Happy Dew Year, that previously canceled flavor, but the real notable one is Dew-nicorn, a play on words with Mountain Dew and unicorn, of course, with a purple bottle and a crazy looking label. That is super dope. Thank God someone found that. Another really cool update that I was tipped off about that I just wish I could have included in the video, I found it right afterward, was there's this trademark website called Justia, and it has a bunch of old, canceled, and new Mountain Dew trademarks on there. There's a bunch of notable abandoned and actually active trademarks. I'll list off all the original ones I found. I also found a lot of unused custom names for that Johnson City Gold competition as well. And for the last update, the one I'm most excited that is coming back is Mountain Dew Typhoon. My #1 flavor of Mountain Dew ever is getting a 16-ounce release in a 6-pack. It's rumored to be a Dew Store exclusive, but that is unconfirmed, and the date is also unconfirmed. I literally just found this on my laptop right now, and I'm just gonna cover it. Mountain Dew Legend is releasing, apparently a BW3's exclusive flavor. Some are asking if I'll update the Iceberg. There's just too many flavors releasing right now. It'd be too hectic. I keep updating the description of the video though, so keep tuned to that if you want to stay up to date. For the next video about Call of Duty Online Zombies, there are a few corrections. I had a correction come to me from the guy that we got the account from, Amatori Biba. He told me the perks in Ultra Zombies were not random like I said they were in the video. Also, the other guy I worked with for that video, Xenia COD, the COD Online historian, hit me with a few corrections and just things I didn't include in the video. One thing he said I got wrong was I used a clip of 2 of those big alien bosses and I said it was probably a bug. He said that was not a bug. He mentioned how if you took too long in a mission, the leftover cyborgs would combine together to form another alien boss. I know this is very niche and not that important, but I thought it was interesting. He also told me about in 2018, COD Online reached out to its fans asking if it wanted to bring back a removed mode. Like I said, 3 of those zombie modes were removed, so they had a competition saying, hey, which one do you want back? Fans obviously voted for Deus Ex because it was the coolest of the 3, but they didn't even give them that, and instead they gave them Zombie Havoc, which I discussed that mode in the video. Apparently that did not please fans. He informed me about modes that weren't zombies in the game that I didn't discuss, info on the old removed modes that me and Kevin weren't able to play, and just changes to the zombie modes throughout the years. It's all really interesting stuff. Someone informed me on an incorrect translation about the Doomsday mode with the spires. Red equaled increased damage, yellow reduced health, and they also told me that Shino Numa's translation was literally just Shino Numa. I probably shanked a bunch of translations in that video. I have someone working on translating all the screw-ups in that video, so stay tuned for the next update and I'll clear up what I got wrong. A cool thing worth mentioning that someone informed me about, I didn't even think about, was when I talk about that mode with the returning characters, Richtofen, Nikolai, Dempsey as a girl, and I mentioned how there wasn't Takiao, it was like Musha. It makes sense why the Chinese game didn't have Takiao. He was a Japanese World War II soldier, so they have beef, so that's probably why he wasn't in the game. And the last notable thing I forgot to mention, because I don't play much COD Mobile, I never really have, is apparently they've used a lot of the enemies from COD Online in COD Mobile, the zombie characters, which that's pretty cool. For updates, I mean, the game got shut down, like I said, a couple months ago, so there's really nothing new with the game at all. Just know that that new Zombies series I talked about in that video, that will be the next video on this channel, so stay tuned for that. For part 2 of the Best Picture series, I did screw up a little bit more than part 1, so here's what I messed up. When discussing how Godfather 1 and 2 won the award and how rare that was, I mentioned how the second Lord of the Rings movie won. That's not the case. The third movie out of the trilogy won the Best Picture award. Another big thing I screwed up was Julie Andrews was not voice dubbed in The Sound of Music. The person I thought dubbed her, Maria Nixon, who also voice dubbed Audrey Hepburn in My Fair Lady, was in the movie but as an actress. She was one of the nuns. I also failed to mention how Maria Nixon did voice dub work for Maria in West Side Story. It just gets so confusing with all the Marias. During the part of the video where I discuss A Man for All Seasons, I claim that it's King Henry VII. It's actually the 8th. Another slight mess up I had when discussing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was I said Michael Douglas was the director. No, he was the producer. The actual director was Milos Forman. During my discussion of Rain Man, I claimed I liked the old school Ferrari, not a Ferrari. I looked it up and that is a Lamborghini Countach LP 500S. During my discussion of In the Heat of the Night, I said that Virgil slapped a white cop. Not a cop, that was a florist. The last screw up was when I was talking about Robert De Niro and Marlon Brando winning the same Oscar for the same character, how that's never been done, but it was sort of done with different actors winning the same role for the Joker. I show Joaquin Phoenix and Jack Nicholson. That's not the case. It's Joaquin Phoenix and Heath Ledger that won the Oscar. And for the updates, again, old movies, so nothing to update. And for the 10th video about Rockstar Games Part 1, the video is still pretty new, so I don't have much to correct, except for the fact I forgot to mention that Surfing H3O has some of the worst voice acting and most annoying voice acting in any game. I didn't realize it till watching clips later because I had the TV muted during my playthrough, but it is atrocious.
Got it.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Goodbye. I got it.
Easy.
I also didn't mention in the video how Angel Studios, who was responsible for Smuggler's Run and Midnight Club, made a game called Midtown Madness, which is similar to Smuggler's Run and similar feeling to Midnight Club, so that kind of makes sense. And for updates, games are old, nothing new. So that's it for the first 10 videos for corrections and updates. I will continue to keep up with the comments the best I can and update these in the future update videos, but I just won't spend as much time on them. I hope you got a kick out of this. I sure did. I mean, I had fun revisiting all these different topics. Just know that I have several videos planned for the future. It's hard to get these out. They take a long time. I'm trying to develop ways to get them out faster. You can see I'm doing the parts. I didn't used to do that. And if you can't already tell, the main focus of this channel is music, movies, and video games, so it'll hit usually one of those 3 topics, or I might do some weird spin-off video like the Mountain Dew one. I hope you guys don't mind the range of topics I'm covering. I know they jump around a bunch. I just like to cover what I like and what I previously know a little bit about and what I see hasn't been covered that much online. With these videos getting more and more traction, I'm getting more and more comments correcting me and just updating some of these properties, so that really helps doing videos like these, so keep those comments coming for sure. Anyway, I'll see you again in a video like this in another 10 videos from now, so see you then.